Hi, how you guys doing? Welcome. This was Tea Time True Crime with Katie. I am Katie Brannon, but I recently started to revamp the series because I want to focus on people's stories. I want to focus on interviews rather than just what is already saturated in the YouTube world, which is true crime stories, and they say it all kinds of different ways. And honestly, I've been so busy with my financial business, and Taylor has been busy as well. But that doesn't mean I don't want to stop helping people and sharing stories. So, if you would hit that subscribe button, if you are fascinated by dark content, survivor stories, yes, we have a survivor here. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, and right now, we're going to start this podcast with positive energy. And we have Taylor back. So, welcome, Taylor. Welcome back. Happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, like we have a lot of positive energy today, right? We got all the candles. We will
Yeah.
not have the whatever it was last time. Be
Yeah.
gone.
Be gone. Yeah. We don't want no negativity. We are here to share your story. If you guys did not watch part one, definitely watch part one because I'm not really going to do a recap. This is not something you can recap. But she does need to finish the story. But of course, if there's anything else she wants to say, you are welcome to say, Taylor. So before we get on to that horrific event that you saw, what else would you, is there anything else you would like to say before we just get into the goods? I guess we can say, even though
Um,
that's not good.
No, no. I guess just to, I guess, briefly recap if you didn't. My name's Taylor. If you haven't seen the first one, this is kind of my story, my survivor story about just being young and doing stupid things, falling in with the wrong crowd, right? When maybe I shouldn't have, and making choices that later made me who I am, but still changed me in a way. And I'd love to help people like avoid that, right, at all cost, or maybe be a warning sign, right, of hey, like things can get worse, so like get out or whatnot. But no, we can kind of just jump in where we left off. Briefly go over the girl so she doesn't like cut our Zoom call off again before we upset the spirits.
I mean, it's a pretty hardcore way to die, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of like I kind of disassociated a little bit, Taylor, when you were talking, because I was like, oh my God, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's not funny, but like I smile when it's like awkward or it's like traumatic. So I'm like,
How
oh,
could somebody even
what?
I don't even know how people can stomach doing that to somebody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you have those thoughts as a normal human being, like, oh, I'd like to strangle you, right? Or like whatever.
Yeah.
You could never do it. And I'm like, how can someone take a 20-year-old girl that they're just done with and literally just chop her head off live? And they think it's like a show. Like
Yeah,
it is
like
a
she's
show.
nothing. Like she's not
Yeah.
even a person.
No, it's just like this video. It's like, yeah, we're doing this. It's like that she's an object, and that's how people are down there, right? In that area, in that kind of environment, women are objects. Women are not people, right? They're more
Yeah.
disposable aspects, and so that was, I mean, absolutely awful. And I don't know if I ever got to the part where her brother. I remember he later found one of the guys that had done it and put a pickaxe through his head and put that on live video, right? So it was kind of like a gang rival revenge thing. So he found one of the guys, and then him and his buddies held that guy down and put a pickaxe in his head while he was alive, kind of in the same area as a revenge, I guess. But no, yeah, I had to watch that too, so that was fun.
Yeah. Would you think that was one of the most like horrific, events in your life that you're like, wow, something needs to change. Like I need to,
Oh no, no, that was the beginning. That
that was
was
the
that was
beginning.
that was like when I first got with him, right? So that was his way of like showing me like, hey, like this is what happens to people in this area. I know you're not from here, but this is what happens to people in this area when you don't have somebody like me that makes sure nothing happens. Right. So that was my, hey, you better keep me close or you're gonna wind up like them. Which do you want?
So it's like a pimp initiation? Like,
I guess I mean, I don't like to use the word pimp. I wouldn't call him my pimp, but essentially, yeah, he was.
forgive me.
And it was more so like,
I didn't mean to offend or anything.
no, it's a common term, but like,
I was thinking 50 Cent, that awesome song, P.I.M.P. Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
that's where I
I didn't even.
first heard that song. I remember the first time I ever heard that song,
Hmm.
driving down the road in some crackhead's pickup truck with old dude and this crackhead, and I was on drugs, whatever. And I remember this dude singing it, and he was like dreads to his lower ears. He looked like a pimp. Man, walked like one. He talked like this right here. And I'm like, okay, like you meet some characters, but no. So that was at the first hotel that we ever stayed at, and we would walk. I mean, we would that hotel. We would walk over to the Waffle House, and we would eat, and that would be across the street, and we'd have to walk over there. But he would set me up with people at that hotel. We ended up moving hotels, um, and then there was this like rapper, and we would always go to this one guy's house. His name was Big C, is what everybody called him. His drug dealer's house. We'd drive to his apartment, and we'd go in there, and I swear we'd walk in, and there's just like 12 dudes. Right? I mean, this apartment is crowded. You walk in, there's drugs all over the table. They got PlayStations, they got loud music. You walk in, one guy answers the door with a gun. You got six other dudes sitting here holding AKs. And then you make friends with them, obviously, right? Because you come in here often and you're just like, yeah, buddy. So I'd be, walking around with the guns, chilling with the gang members. But it's you go back to the hotel and things change.
Yeah.
Like I remember like I wanted to leave. I remember crying in the bathroom, and I remember times where I did want to leave. This was at what hotel was this at? Motel 6, I think. That was this one. It was like the second or third hotel. And I remember he had taken my phone, and he had taken my cards because I had just told him, I'd had enough. I had already been with him for months. We go on shopping sprees. He made me feel special, and I had a lot of money. Okay, I had more money than I knew what to do with. It was dirty money, but you know, um, I said, I want to leave, and he was like, absolutely not. Like, where are you going to go? He took my phone and my debit card. I said, look, I don't want to call the cops. I don't want to, right? I just want to go. Just let me leave. Man jumped up so fast and grabbed me by the neck, threw me on the ground, picked me back up by the neck, put me on the bed, and sat on top of me, choked me till I saw stars. Don't you ever talk about calling the cops. Don't you ever say that. Don't you ever mention them. I don't want to call them. I don't care. Don't you ever mention them. Right. But even those were like subliminal. I mean, there were times where I was running a lot. It's all like, like all into one. I mean, there was one time we were cooking crack, and he spilled the shit all over my legs. I still got scars. Now I got like my tattoos. I have my tattoo
Yeah.
on my upper thighs. On my left, it's pretty much covered, but my right, you can still see it a little bit. They're just little subtle burn marks, so they faded over time. But I was wearing black leggings, and he's a heroin addict. So when you're on heroin, it's a downer, and you kind of like nod off. You fall asleep. Well, he was cooking it over the side of the table, and I was sitting there with my black leggings on. I have to watch the door. And he started nodding off and falling asleep, and he pushed down too hard. And this shit had been, I mean, it was a measuring cup, a metal measuring cup, about a cup. And he had the torch on it. And you have to continuously, like that water was probably 400 degrees, and it just dropped all over me. All the crack crystals, everything. I mean, stuck to my legs. Oh my God, it was bad.
Did you go to the hospital?
No, No, we didn't go to the hospital. That man put cocoa butter on it. He said, get in the shower, take your leggings off, get in the shower. He said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Get in the shower and put some cocoa butter on it.
Cocoa butter?
Cocoa butter.
Not even Neosporin?
We
Like
didn't
that's,
have no Neosporin. He
oh
had
my
cocoa butter.
God.
He was black. He used that for his lotion. And so I just
I mean,
put
cocoa
cocoa.
butter is great. I mean, it's used for
I
all
do
kinds. I
like
think it's
cocoa butter,
used
but
for
like
like intense burns. I don't think that's what for cocoa butter.
apparently, yeah. Yeah, apparently
I
that's
mean,
what
you
it
can
is.
use cocoa oil, cocoa butter, for lubrication, for all
Bro,
kinds of things. But
I didn't shower by myself.
oh God.
Like I got in the shower and I stood there and I turned. I remember times where this man would make me get up and help him piss. As in, he would get up and he would stand over the toilet with his arms on the wall. And he was so drugged out that I had to stand behind him and squeeze his stomach until he actually started pissing. Hmm.
And then the drug of his choice was heroin.
Absolutely. But yeah, the heroin was the number one, but he did it all. He just didn't do crack. We just made that.
Got you. I mean,
Yeah.
I hear heroin is kind of the drug of choice because I didn't realize if you guys don't know what heroin was, because I didn't know for a long time, it's like opiates. It's like
Yeah.
liquid opium.
Yeah, it's
And
actually powder.
yeah, so it's powder, right? And then I actually talked to people who have done heroin. So I was just curious. I was
Yeah.
like, well, how does it feel, right? And what I've heard was it feels like just absolute warmth going through your body like a hug, and it's better than sex. And I was like, yeah, I'll stick with chocolate and carbs, which is already,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
definitely.
don't know, I'm good. I'm
It
just,
don't look like that
it
for sure.
doesn't. No,
And
but
essentially, it just shuts down your
isn't
organs.
that wild that that's how it was said, like how it was? But
Yeah,
it
that's
kind of
because
makes sense because there's a lot of heroin addicts.
yeah, yeah. But I think it's because a lot of people have things that they don't want to deal with, and they'd rather shut down because heroin's a downer. Heroin's going to make you just go out. Like if you like see somebody who does heroin, they ain't up and around. Like right. So if you do cocaine,
Yeah.
or like Adderall, right? Those things you're going to be like up and moving around. You're going to be doing things, right?
Yeah.
Versus if you do heroin, that's kind of like drinking a bottle of whiskey.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's a downer. It's not an upper. It's not a stimulant. It's a downer, and so it's going to make you just. That's why they nod off. So you'll see a heroin addict, and they'll go,
Okay, so something tells me the movies, drug movies, are pretty accurate. Like Spun. Remember that one?
"No, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
It's okay. I've always been interested in those kind of drug movies. I would never do it. I'm not judging, but I'm like scared enough to do anything like that because I'm scared
Don't
if I
do it."
try anything that I would just be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my body, I can't even process alcohol correctly. So I guess people call me a cheap date. Like I get one drink, I have three sips, and I give my drink away.
Yeah.
Like I
Hey,
don't
that's
drink.
okay. That's okay.
Like I don't. Now this horrible person who you were with, and was he the one? Remember you mentioned in the last podcast that you were in the middle of a legal fight. Like he
Yeah.
tried to kill
Yeah.
you. Is this the
Yeah.
same man?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm very excited to announce this, but we have update on that, right? It
Yeah.
is
Try.
the case is closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
So,
actually ended up he actually ended up pleading guilty. So before he was like, I'm not going to plead guilty, but he actually found out he's dying. So
oh my gosh.
karma's a bitch. Excuse my language, but
You're good.
um,
No, you're good.
so he actually has always had diabetes, but he's never managed it. He's also psychosis, but being on drugs for so long, self-medicating, not managing his diabetes, all of his internal organs has actually started to fail.
Wow.
And so he ended up taking a plea, and I think he got like 5 years, which was whatever because he's going to be dead here soon anyway. It's not like he's getting any better, and there's nothing they can do for him.
Are you
So,
okay, Taylor? That I mean,
oh yeah,
even though he is like a piece of crap monster, you did like love him at one point. You
no,
never did. It was all manipulation.
oh yeah, and the fact that I had a lot, and the fact that I was on a shit ton of drugs, and
Yeah.
I had a
But
shit,
but but who was the guy that you were in love with before? Remember
that
he
went
left
to
you.
jail, that went to so
I
the
think
guy.
so. Yeah.
Yep, yep. No, I haven't talked to him. So actually, when I like left old dude and I
Hmm.
finally got out, like after he tried to kill me, after the cops found me, and then I went to rehab in Tennessee and came up to Michigan. My aunt that was up in Michigan actually got old dude that was in jail that I was trying to bail out, got him a bus ticket up to Michigan to live up in Michigan with me. So me and old dude stayed in a hotel up in Michigan for like a month until he started taking all of my psychiatric medications. And I was like, bruh, get the fuck out of here. So,
Dang, that's horrible,
yeah,
Taylor. That had to hurt.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah, geez, that's horrible.
so,
Because you literally went into, you know, essentially the sex trade, honestly, to get him out of jail. Be like, okay, I need to get him out. I need to raise money.
oh, well, that
No.
wasn't the first time I went into the sex trade. That wasn't the first time I had been in the sex trade. The first time I was in the sex trade was when I was 18 years old.
Oh my God, Taylor.
So
And okay, so what led you to that? Was it like the money, the people that like manipulated you, or
the first time,
yes.
the first time when I was 18, girl, I was 18 years old. I was living in a hotel. I had a dog that I had, and
Oh,
didn't have any family in the area. I had burned all the bridges with my family, or like at that time.
is it
I
because
had,
of drugs?
no, no, because I found my mom dead in the floor.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like at 17, I fell off the handle and then I started smoking weed. Well, back then, weed wasn't legal. So my dad and my grandfather dropped me out of high school and put me in rehab with a bunch of meth and heroin addicts and
For
like
just weed?
yeah, yeah, they put me in there with a bunch of 40-year-olds, right? And so I had my 18th birthday in there. And then as soon as I turned 18 and got out, I left and went to North Carolina to meet my biological father for the first time, right?
Okay.
So I lived there. That didn't work because him and his new, like his family, I was like, oh no. I'm like, I'm going through this with my mom just died. Like, I'm 18 years old. I don't even know who you are. You're not gonna like, this is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I was on my own in North Carolina, full-time job, but I didn't have a car. Didn't have I had to pay for hotels. And I'm like, how the hell? Like, I so a friend had told me about a website that I went on, and I was 18 and made it work. And
And you wanted the money, right? You just want to make money.
I mean, yeah,
Easy money.
it's not that I wanted money. It's that I
I
needed
needed. Yeah.
money. I worked 40 hours a week and I was a manager at a jewelry store, but I was paying for hotels every night and I had no car. I also had to pay for food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm 18 years old working a full-time job and have zero people. And I'm like, all right,
But
Taylor.
Taylor, but you're a kid.
Well,
18 years
yeah,
old, you're a kid.
at the time, yeah. And so then I got out of that. I ended up actually meeting a guy through doing that, a rich guy doing that. And we were dating or whatnot. And I went up to Michigan for a little bit. And he came up to Michigan. We packed all my stuff and I was going to move in with him in Virginia. He,
Really?
he was addicted to pills though, like Ambien. I don't know if you know what Ambien is.
Oh yeah. I had one of those one time. I had a half of Ambien and I hallucinated.
Okay, so let me put it this way. I was my size that I am right now, and
Hmm.
you know how big I am, right?
Yeah, tiny. Yeah.
Well, this guy was about as big as George.
Tall and
Tall, not big, but pretty built, right?
yeah.
a good almost 200 pounds, okay, if not around there. And I was taking his stuff,
Okay.
all of his stuff. So I didn't have my own. That was his. So he had came and I had done Ambien a couple of times and I had stayed at his house, his parents' house. That was fun. But again, this is at 18 and I had like just turned or I had just turned 19 right around. I had turned 19. No. Yeah, I had turned 19 right as I like was with him or whatnot. And then he came up from Virginia. We packed all my stuff and I took, let's see, two or three Ambien, two or three Xanax, and two or three of his Adderall. Like I took a whole bunch of stuff and I blacked out for 2 days.
Yeah, you think? I hallucinated for,
Like,
again, I had a
um,
horrible fever and I couldn't sleep. And that's why my friend gave me half an Ambien. And I don't know how you, oh my God, Taylor, how are you alive?
so, so,
Oh my
well, that's yeah. So I I woke up 2 days later and he was gone. He was gone. To this day, I have, and this was in 2019. To this day, I have never, not one time, heard from him, seen him, anything, nothing.
God. Is he still alive?
Hell if I know, I haven't looked him up. I mean, I actually did try to look him up a couple years ago, and I couldn't find him because I was like, I don't know, there's so many people. I don't even know if he has Facebook or what's going on, right? But I was like, fuck it, whatever. If anybody knows him, his name is Clark Ackerman. Okay, he lived in Roanoke, Virginia, but he was like 26 and I was 19.
Ugh.
And so I blacked out for 2 days. I woke up and it was 2 days later and I was confused. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no, no, I literally just went to sleep and it was like Sunday. What do you mean it's Tuesday night? You know what's going on? Man, I walk up there to my aunt because I lived with her and this is when I lived up in Michigan the first time. I walk up there, I'm like, what's going on? I had been awake, but I hadn't been conscious. So I had been walking up there, going to the bathroom, and she said, like, she's like, you've just been like cussing us out every time. She's like, you walk up here, you go to the bathroom, and just rip us a new one, and then walk back there, and like you're out.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like, we thought you were gonna kill yourself. So I was like, the fuck? And so I go back to the room and I'm like, what's going on? Like, where's Clark? I'm supposed to be going to move in with him. I'm so confused. It's 2 days later. Where is he? He's not answering. What's going on? My aunt comes back there. She says, Taylor, did you take your medicine? I looked at her. She walked out. She came back in. I looked at her. I took the whole damn bottle. I was I was a kid, but I was doing it to be mean. You know, I was like, I don't want to, I was like, I'm not trying to kill myself. But she looked at me and I mean, it was just the right thing. I looked at her. She came back in. I dumped the bottle over. It was empty. I said, there, I took them all. Are you happy? She goes, oh my God. And I had to go get my stomach pumped. And then I was admitted to the hospital. And so that was that. But that was Clark. That was when I got started. And then I stopped for a while after that. That's what
Okay.
kind of made me stop until Georgia a year later when I met whatchamacallit and
Mm-hmm.
kind of conspired that. But that's what made me stop the first time.
Got it. So that was like 2020
That
when
was 2019,
2019.
early 2019, and then like late 2019 is when I found old dude.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's really tough, Taylor. That's so another part of the story that you didn't finish, I wrote it down, was the Checkers. Remember, he would go and eat at Checkers,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Okay. So like the
And
last
he
part.
was gonna kill you, right? He was literally
Yeah.
killing you. He was stabbing you a little
He was
bit, right, or
behind you. Yeah.
something. Yeah, like he wasn't going through because you were fighting so hard. Like
Totally.
you have to
Totally.
understand, like ladies and gentlemen, however you identify yourselves in this, day and age. No sarcasm, no disrespect, just being honest.
Right.
I'm a millennial, so I have to like, you
Yeah.
know, um,
Whoever you are.
yeah, but yeah, it's fine. I was just like wondering, like, it, I just lost my train of thought. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say it. Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, no. So with the checkers and then him trying to kill you, and you said the cops came and rescued you.
Oh yeah.
Were you guys in the middle of that horrible fight?
Mm. No, no. So, I don't know if I got into detail. So before I got to the checkers, like that morning or the night before.
Because he was gonna kill you. He was.
Oh yeah, yeah. But the night before, like all of like the very night before, we had talked and I had told him, I want to get out, I want to get clean. Like so the breaking point for me was we were sleeping in the truck and I could feel my bones. I was about 79 pounds, 78, 79 pounds. So like that's like almost like feeding tube kind of weight, right? Like my cartilage was leaving my body. Um,
Yes, you are very small. Like I don't let everyone to talk about someone's size,
no,
shape, or weight, but for the audience, I will
I'm
say
5'2" and I
she's
weigh
5'2"
98.
and she's
I weigh
very
90
tiny.
pounds. Yeah,
I could probably lift her up with my arm.
most people, I weigh 90 pounds and I'm 5'2". Okay. That's just
I think that's my leg, honestly.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Well, no. So the night before, I had told him I want to get clean. My parents are going to put me in a rehab
yeah.
facility, get me clean or whatnot. He was all on board for it the night before. All right, and then the next morning, he was still, on board with it, right? So my biological mother was gonna come pick me up, right? She was gonna drive from Mississippi and come pick me up. Now, I was gonna go with my aunt Michelle, and who lived in Georgia. I, stayed with her briefly, but I was gonna go with her to meet my mom. Well, he didn't drop me off there. He kept going. He said he wanted to be the one to meet my mom. This is that day, right? That morning, he wanted to meet my mom. So he made a phone call to quote unquote my mom, right? That after that car ride, right? So
Okay.
instead, I saw Aunt Michelle's truck. He kept driving. He said he wanted to do it. I said, okay. So he called my mom, quote unquote. To this day, I don't know who he was talking to, but it wasn't my mother. It was not my biological mother, but I heard somebody else on the other end, right? And he was like, okay, I'm going to meet you at this time. I'm looking forward to it. And I heard another voice, but I didn't, I assumed it was my biological mother. That's who he said he was calling, right? I didn't have a phone at the time. He had broken mine. So my phone was broken. It had been for a hot minute. And so I'm like, okay, you guys are gonna meet. Well, we go beside the Checkers was a pawn shop or whatnot, like this
Hmm.
Jamaican lady pawn shop. So we pull in there and he's gonna go sell some stuff. Well, he left his phone in the car. So I got on, I was just gonna text my biological mother, hey, and I was like, hey, I'm glad you got to talk to him or whatnot, because she called. I texted, I was like, yeah, you just talked to him. He's going to meet you at such and such time. And she was like, no, I didn't. I was like, he was literally just on the phone with you. Like, I heard the call. And she was he's lying to you. I didn't speak to him. He is going to kill you. You need to get out. That's what she texted. Like, I remember that text. She was like, he is going to kill you. You need to get out, right? You need to leave. And so he walks back up to the passenger side where I'm at that point. He opens the door and he looks at me, and I'm not good at hiding my facial expressions. We both know that, okay? I'm not. But he looks at me and he goes, what's wrong? And I was like, you lied. I was like, you lied. He was like, what? I was like, you lied to me. I was like, you didn't talk to her. I was like, you lied. I was like, I want to leave. Like, I'm leaving. So I get out and I walk to the Checkers that's next door because we had eaten there every day. And I go to the front because, we're at an intersection. So there's a traffic light. And then you have like a gas station, the Checkers diagonal. There's another store across from the Checkers here. I'm over here, and then there's another little place on the other side. So it's a heavy traffic area. There's an interstate exit right there, highway exit. So um, I get out, I walk to the Checkers, I walk up to the window, my mother had already said I called her. I said, I'm at the Checkers. I said, I don't know what to do. And he, I mean, skirts out, follows me, screaming, he's going to kill himself. Please, baby, I'm sorry. Don't do this. You can't leave me. Da, 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 da. I was like, I don't want, I'm not getting in the truck. Like, I'm not getting in the truck. So I go to the window, call her. She said she's going to call the cops. They should be on their way to get me. I said, okay, great. So I called the cops. I said, this is what I'm wearing at the Checkers, right? I'm using their like home phone. They have like a landline thing. It's like, this is what I'm wearing. I'm staying at the Checkers. They were like, okay, just stay there. I was like, well, where the fuck else am I going to go, right? And so I called my
Yeah.
mother back and I was on the phone with her and I was like, okay, like the cops said they're on their way. I told him, what I was wearing and all this other good stuff. And I was like, but I just, want to stay on the phone with you until, they get here. So I see him drive past the Checkers and I was like, he just drove past. I was like, he's not going to let me leave. He just drove past. He's not going to let me leave. She was like, no, it'll be fine. It's fine. Like, it's okay. He's probably just driving away. Man does a U-turn in the middle of traffic. And I was like, I watched him turn around. I was like, he just turned around. I was like, he just turned around. Like I don't know. She was like, it's okay. I was like, he's pulling into the Checkers right now. And so I'm talking to her. He gets out of the driver's side. He pulls into the Checkers, doesn't even turn the car off. I mean, doesn't even park, just pulls in, stops the car, gets out, screams at me, who the fuck are you talking to, you stupid bitch? The cops, da 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 da. Grabs the phone from my ear, throws it through the checker window, grabs me by the neck, drags me to the car, and I'm fighting backwards. So we're like, we got the back of the car. I'm like this, like I don't want to get in. He grabs my legs. I go backwards into the truck. He gets in, slams the door, skirts off. I sit up. I'm screaming and crying. I don't want to do this. He's like, you want to die? You think you can leave me? You think you can leave me? We can die together. He's got a knife in his hand, banging me against the side of the window, just like I'm a rag doll, throwing me around the truck. We go to the park and he keeps going and there's like this service road, the service road, and then you can go up, right? So we go up the service road, we go up another one to like the cell towers. So we were fighting and I'm like upside down in the truck. Like there were, like you said, like I didn't like have full stab wounds, but like I don't know if you've ever had like adrenaline pumping, but like your body can do some crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
Like adrenaline. I'm like, holy shit. Also, it probably helped that he was on drugs because he probably was not at full capacity, like one
Yeah.
would
Especially
need
the
to be.
heroin, right? If he was on
Right,
heroin.
right. So it's like
Yeah.
I probably got a little lucky there, but we fought for maybe good 10 minutes and we got out of the truck and I mean, it was just like pushing him off of me upside down, inside, outside the truck. He told me to get back in the truck. I guess he was going to take me to meet that person or whatnot, whoever he was talking to on the phone. That's my assumption. We were going somewhere. We get down onto the main service road and the truck runs out of gas. Boom, just dies. Truck ran out of gas. Weird, right? There's a bolo out, and now this truck, we're off the back entrance, so we ain't in the backwoods. We get to the main service road where you can see us,
Awesome.
and the truck, boom, runs out of gas. So he's like, I'm squalling,
I
whatever.
mean, the universe. I mean, they made that trucks.
Nobody
Ah,
will ever tell me that God doesn't exist. I don't know what anybody believes in spiritually. Honestly, that's up to you. Me personally, I think that whatever you want to
100%.
call it, like that's like you can't tell me that that's not real, right? Just me personally, but no, the truck ran out of gas. He gets out. He's got the knife to my back, and I'm just looking for my other croc. I was trying to find my damn Crocs, and he was like, if you run, I will kill you. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. And so next thing I know, this cop pulls up. His name is Officer Bates. And fun fact, I actually
Officer Bates, like Bates Motel.
CATS. Yeah, his name was Officer
Stop.
Bates. He was
Oh, wow.
a tall, skinny white man. He was older. He had like wire glasses. And actually, I have this picture of me and my mom.
Oh.
And right after it happened, I was actually going to send this to him, but my mom passed away. So it's like I don't have many pictures of her. So I decided not to send it. But actually, right here, it says, Dear Officer Bates on it because I was going to write him a letter onto the back. But I was like, no, I want my picture of my mom. I should have written him a card or something, but I'll never forget him. Like, he is, like, I will never forget that man's name
Shout
or
out to Officer Bates.
Bates. Yeah,
Bates.
shout
Yeah.
out to Officer Bates,
And what
Atlanta, Decatur,
state?
Georgia. Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia. He was
Shout
a
out.
DeKalb County police officer. So if you guys know him, if you guys see him, if you're ever in DeKalb County, you know an Officer Bates, tall, skinny white man. At the time, he was about, honestly, he was probably in his 50s. So he might be near retiring now. So throw him a retirement party. I don't know, something. But either way, he found us. Old dude put the knife away and put it in the seat. Officer just stepped outside the car, real nice and calm. He says, Sir, can you come up here for a second? I just got a couple of questions for you. Walks around. He tells me, he said, dry it up. And to this day, like, I hate when people tell me that. That's like a major trigger. Like, if I'm crying, don't tell me to dry it up.
No, I want you to fucking cry. Like
Uh,
all my friends are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. I don't want to cry." I'm like, "Cry.
I'm
Let it
like, yeah,
out.
like,
Let
I'd be
Dry it up."
like,
Wow, what
dry
a
it
dick.
up, and
I mean,
so
he is a dick, but like, okay, did Officer Bates say that, or was that
no, no, old
okay?
dude said that when
Yeah, old
Officer
dude said
Bates
that.
pulled up, he's like, dry it up. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
like, my face, and officer gets out. Hey, I got a couple of questions for you. So he walks around to the front of the vehicle, and he's like
Okay, Bowie.
immediately handcuffed. Um, so he, right then and there, he's like, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Tell him I didn't mean it." I looked at that officer. I'm squalling back at this point. I just need a cigarette. I'm sorry. I'm not even of legal age at this point because they had just changed it to age 21.
Oh my gosh.
And I was 20, but I looked at this. I said, I'm not getting any weapons. I just need a cigarette. He was like, okay. So I went over there and I smoked a cigarette or whatnot, like hyperventilating. They put him in the cop car. I then went with the cops and slept on the police station front steps in Atlanta for 4 hours while I waited for my biological mother to get to Atlanta because it was COVID and you couldn't go in the police station.
Oh
So
my
I had
God.
shorts on and a windbreaker and I was freezing cold. Okay, it was freezing outside, and I was just curled up on the front steps of the police station. And then the officer came and gave me a protein bar. It was his lunch, the only lunch he had. He was like, I'm figuring you're hungry, and he gave it to me. And I was like, this bar is so nasty. It's like a healthy ass protein bar with like eggs and stuff in it. I'm like, I don't want this, but it's food. So I'm gonna eat it. And then I went to Tennessee, and he actually escaped custody once. They had to bring him to the hospital for like a COVID testing or whatnot. And when he was in the hospital, he literally just slipped out of his cuffs and walked out the front door of the hospital. And he was trying to contact me, except my biological mother had my phone. And yeah, so he was really talking to her and actually the cops because she would just screenshot everything and the cops would, get him to keep talking so they could ping his phone and catch him.
Smart.
I was like, you dumbass, why would you text me and tell me to come pick you up? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. This is Bowie. He's just here to comfort you, Taylor. This is Bowie.
that's okay. He's
Yeah.
cute.
Isn't he cute? He's my baby.
He is.
Yeah, that's so okay. We don't do names here, but the older gentleman has diabetes. When he has diabetes, how old was he? How
I
old?
don't know. I figured he'd had diabetes. Old dude had diabetes. I'm figuring before I even met him, it might have been mild. But he also didn't watch what he ate at all, so it probably got worse. And he didn't take care of it at all. Hell, he probably did have diabetes, or he just never managed it because he was on
How
drugs.
how old was he though?
Like, right when I met him, he was 35.
Oh my God, and you're 18.
Yeah.
You're 18 and he was like
No,
35.
no, no, no. When I met him, I was 19.
Okay, you're
I was
19.
19 when I met him, and he was, no, maybe 10 years older than me. No, I think he was 35 because he was born in 95.
Okay.
95. So 19. He was,
So I want to go back to Officer Bates. So so did he just automatically arrest the guy and not ask
yeah,
questions?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
No, because there was a bolo out.
that's what I
So there was
thought.
like
Okay,
there was a
yeah,
bolo. So like there were everybody was looking for us. The truck, his description, my description. He just literally grabbed me and threw me in a truck in front of an intersection.
yeah. There,
Cross traffic. There's I'm standing outside Checkers on a phone, and you threw the phone through the window and then grabbed me by the neck and pushed me into this car as I'm screaming,
yeah,
somebody's calling the cops. Not
exactly.
to mention the
Yes.
cops were already called, then I called them. But no, I actually tried to leave 2 times, but I didn't try. I did. I left twice before, but I went back.
Okay,
That
and
was
how
the
about?
third time.
And I wonder what the Checkers employees thought when a phone went through the window. Like,
Right? They're like, what the fuck? I mean, they do live and work in Atlanta. So they see, I mean, literally, the Checkers. I remember sitting across at the gas station diagonal from the Checkers and watching a shooting. I watched it happen. I watched 2 cars. I watched the kids, one driver, there were a kid in the back, kid on the side. I watched him pop the trunk, get him like a loaded AK, go to the other car, pop, pop, and then run back, close the trunk. And I watched them leave. I watched the cops. Like I just sat at the gas station across diagonal and we just watched the entire thing.
oh my
I
gosh.
mean, what are we going to do? What am I going to do about it? I'm going to sit there. I'm like, holy shit. So that was at that Checkers, literally at that Checkers. Like you just like I'm like this is it's I don't even know how to like explain that, but literally pulled up, got out,
Yeah.
came back, and it's literally like something you would see in a movie.
So, okay, does your family know what went on?
No, but I mean they know like yeah the bigger things, but I mean I don't really talk to them about like small details. I guess like if they ask, I guess I'm not afraid to tell, but they don't know like that I've seen, hits or like all like some of the crazy details, but they don't ask. I don't know if they want to know, like
Because
you
I
have to,
think, yeah, because I think they know they failed as parents.
I
Like,
mean,
I
not,
mean,
I wouldn't even say that. I mean, kind of in ways, yes,
yes,
they did.
Taylor, you literally went to like the worst kind of depths of life. They did fail as parents. They did. I'm sorry. You were a child. You didn't know. You did not have anyone to really depend on. And I am very sorry for your loss of your mom. Like, that is a different kind of pain that, yeah, we're just not gonna. But I'm just saying somebody else should have been there for you. Someone else should have reached out and, like, hey, we know this. And again, I don't know since
Now, I will
everything.
say, well,
Yeah.
I will advocate, okay?
Okay.
It's like they did until like I was a stubborn girl, especially on drugs, and especially after I lost my mom. So like they did to an extent until I literally like I just cut them off. Like I that
Yeah.
a lot of that was me too, because when I did reach out like to my dad recently, he was open arms, right? Like they've never been unwilling to help me, but when I was on drugs, I wasn't nice. That was me. Like maybe they should have been able to rescue me at the beginning. I'll give them that, right? It
Yes.
shouldn't have taken me getting on drugs for you to come rescue.
Exactly. That's
But
what I'm saying, Taylor. You were a
but
kid, hun.
right. So I
You
mean,
know?
it shouldn't have taken that, and I will give them that. But I will say that like, there came a point where it's like I was done listening to you, and I will say to anybody watching that if you have people like especially if you're younger like 19, 20 years old, please, if you have people, even if you're like no I don't have them, right, I broke that relationship, you do have them,
It's happening
because
more and more now. Yeah.
there are some people who don't have anyone, and where someone you might like I thought like in my head, right, because I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and even though I was suffering it was still like my own, and so I kind of like stuck to that, right, I was stubborn when I shouldn't have been, and that cost me, and so I'm not ever going to blame, and that's something else that I had to learn, right,
Yeah.
that I've done what I've done Doesn't matter if they came and rescued me or not. I chose the actions that I chose, and I have to lay in that bed, right? So my goal is warn somebody else before, right? Because in my brain, I had nobody, but I did. I convinced myself that I didn't, but I did. You know what I'm saying? So I got what I convinced myself of, just like we say in the business.
Yeah. It's all about
Right.
mindset. It's all about, I know, I just wish you had like more people reach out. That's what, you know what I'm saying? And
Well,
I'm,
when you're on drugs and they reach out and you're just mean and awful, they don't reach out no more. You
yeah,
know? So
yeah,
that's where I had to take charge and say, "Hey, do I want to live like this anymore?" You know, and that's there that personal responsibility comes in, and that's literally why 5% of the people that get clean stay clean.
yeah,
5% on all that. Most people relapse within the first couple of years, within the first year, right?
yeah,
But only 5% average stay clean, and it's because it's that self accountability that hey, like nobody forced me to do drugs. They left me. You didn't shove the drugs down my nose. You know what I'm saying? Now in my case, he still didn't shove the drugs down my nose. Now
but you're in a lot of pain, and a lot of people want to numb
found
the
that
pain.
out. Right, right.
So, what I'm going to say is if you know people that passed away from drugs and the parents have extreme guilt, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to those parents?
I guess what I would say to those parents is that at the end of the day, it's not your fault. At the end of the day, like, I mean, in my personal opinion, there were times where I did almost die from drugs, you know, and I would have never blamed my parents for that. I think that, you know, even if I said it, I like looking back when I'm sober, right? Because when I was on drugs, I said a lot of things. I blamed a lot of other people for a lot of things, right? And that confused my parents. They got very confused on, is this what she really thought? Right. And it's not. I think that if you have a child struggling with addiction, I think that if you have done what you can do, honestly, done what you can do, and that's just love them and not enable them. I don't blame my parents for not giving me money in Georgia because I would have used it for drugs. I'm just being honest. Don't and like you think you're helping in that aspect, but honestly, a lot of parents that have, I guess, kids pass away from drugs, it's because they enable it. They don't think they are. That $20 for a hamburger ain't for a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? You think it is. You think it's oh my God, I need gas in my gas tank. They don't. They, they don't. If you want to give your kid gas or gas tank, fill up, you go to them and you fill up their car. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give them a cheeseburger, you go to them and give them a cheeseburger. But it's like if somebody dies, just I mean it sucks, but honestly there's nothing you can do. You know, just don't hold yourself responsible at that point. They made their choices. And that sounds so harsh, but
Yeah. Thank you, Taylor. I just want to, I congratulate you for being sober. You know, you've been sober for quite a while. You've built an awesome business. You're living like a pretty lavish lifestyle. You moved to another state, like, okay. So, if it's your first time seeing this, you know, Taylor build a life for herself. And I wanted her on here because she is an inspiration to many. And I think you should totally just stay humble as always and just be proud of yourself. You have come, I know, such a long way, especially with the stories you tell us, because a lot of those stories we see on Breaking Bad, you know, we see on
I
Requiem
really
for a
do.
Dream or Spun movies, TV shows. And to hear that happen in real life is like really honestly sad, Taylor. You know, you really deserve a lot, but you're saying really some wisdom kind of information here for people, like a lot of
Katie,
wisdom.
don't say it's sad. You know why I don't think it's sad. You
Yeah,
remember that story at MBS about the this is good?
I love it. That was the best. This
Man,
is
I've been
good.
telling everybody that story. I repeat that story. That really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
Everything happens where, Katie, I don't feel sad about anything that's happened. It's normal. Not for everybody. I was telling another girl this. Every there is no such thing as normal on a level field. Your
Yeah,
normal is your normal. My normal is
exactly.
my normal. My
I
normal
mean,
is weird to you, just like your normal is weird to me.
yeah, I mean, I know that, but it is sad, hun, with everything you've seen and dealt with. Like, it wasn't a movie, girl. You've seen some pretty horrific shit,
I
and
mean,
I think
hey,
that part is pretty. Maybe you're meant to write a book and
maybe,
do that.
we could take all these little podcasts that we do, right? And if you're watching, please come up with questions because it's really hard for me to like think of things, but I got a whole bunch of crazy stories. If you want to like hear a crazy
Right?
story or like, you're just like, oh, do you got anything to do with this? I'll think of something. Okay. I'm sure I've got some kind of memory, but yeah, that's pretty much that story.
Yeah. Well, guys, let us know in the chat what questions you have for Taylor. I would love to have you on again because I think people really enjoyed you, Taylor. Like we didn't see a lot of comments, being honest, but I have gotten DMs and I've gotten emails and I've gotten people that are like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe what she went through. It makes me so sad. And I was saying, she's not trying to make you sad. She's trying
Oh,
to inspire and motivate people. And that's why I have her on here. And that's why I still am doing the podcast because I want to motivate people because darkness will happen, but
yeah.
you have to be the light.
Right, right. Yeah, no.
And that's what I want to focus on. And Taylor is the light. And I think that she is going to help a lot of people, people that are struggling, people that can't say what's going on in their life, people that are very embarrassed, right? People don't have self-esteem. I mean, you hear amazing, not stories or tales because they're real.
Memories.
Right. Right. It's all about how you live your life,
Right.
right? Like it's true, you could be still on drugs. You still could be hating the world. You
Yeah.
could be, I mean, I knew someone that something horrific happened and they're still in their closet. Like they still won't go outside and it's been years. And that's really that's sad. But your mind, you're capable of doing anything you want to do.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
I really appreciate it. Before I sign off, is there anything you would like to say, Taylor? I know the holidays are coming up and
Yeah, no.
any awesome plans for the holidays?
Honestly, girl, I have no idea. I'm going to
Okay.
Iowa. I'm going to Iowa for Thanksgiving to see some.
Okay, that is awesome.
Yep, we're going
Yeah.
to we're going to Iowa, but no, I definitely would love to. And like Katie said, I never want to make anybody upset. I just want to, I have a little bit of dark humor myself. Okay, I don't get sad over things like that. I tend to laugh. It's a little weird, but it's cool.
It's a Capricorn thing.
Yeah,
It's all good.
but no, I definitely want to inspire and just kind of tell stories, however you want to take it, whether you laugh, whether you cry, whether you take it as a warning, a personal growth story, kind of all of the above. But yeah, I'm good to sign off, Katie.
All right. Thank you so much, Taylor. We really appreciate you. Take care of yourself, and I will see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.